Hey everyone, welcome to the Collector Chatter podcast. This is episode 29. I'm your host Miguel here with my co-host Charlie. And in today's episode, we're going to cover some WonderCon news. We're also going to talk about the NFT craze, as well as our normal news and some of the new Fundays events that are currently being announced.
So everyone, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
And now we're going to actually check out another topic, which we wanted to bring up, which is I wanted to talk about some of these events that are being announced, which we all know, different cons and stuff are things that we get excited for. And we actually got announced the Funko Fundays and Funko Fright Night events. And still pretty early on, so we don't know like official dates and everything exact, but the gist of it is the Funko Fundays is going to be kind of like the San Diego con time, like around July, like in the summertime. And the theme this year, which I know we're going to have a lot to talk about, is blacklight. So that's going to be all blacklight. And then the other one is the Funko Fright Night. Seems like that's going to be more of like a fall NYCC time convention or what they're going to do there.
Yeah.
So first off, what are your thoughts with the Fundays and the theme?
I think the black light is weird for the fun days because that's typically when we get a bunch of new Freddy Funkos. And how many Freddy Funkos are we gonna have black light? Like I just think these things don't normally bother me, but they're really going overboard with the black light, and they're just not going to make it special anymore. And I know some people only collect black light, but I don't think we need an entire like con celebration event dedicated to it. I don't. Maybe cool
I think it's
like one Freddy Funko and blacklight and then call it a day.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool because, like you said, Fun Days is normally the big Freddy drops, and that's like, when we get the different variations of them and we get those boxes or however they're going to do it this year. But it is interesting because there aren't any Freddy blacklights. Blacklight is obviously a big line. It's obviously one of their favorite lines now. It seems like they're making a lot of things into, so it's interesting that they haven't done Freddy yet in Blacklight. So it doesn't surprise me that they would pick this event to kind of make that their little feature. I'm kind of like indifferent on though, because I love Blacklight. Like I do love the way they usually look. I like how I just don't like when they kind of do random characters or they kind of overdo that part of it. But an entire event being blacklight either could be really cool or it's just going to be like way too overwhelming. And I think it's going to be like, not necessary. I just don't know what until we start seeing what's going to drop and like how big is this? Maybe it's not going to be as big of a line.
Yeah, because part of me feels like because this hasn't officially been announced yet. It's just rumors that are going around. And I feel like the rumor that may be going out there may be a little bit of misinformation because they are aligning them up with New York Comic-Con and San Diego Comic-Con, but they're always separate events unless they're going to now go the route, which they haven't done before, what they just now did with WonderCon, how they had like their beach bash.
The beach bash, yeah.
Maybe like that's like the future of Funko. Like I've been going to New York City Comic-Con for as long as I can remember, and it's just the Funko booth. I don't know if this is like a new thing since this is their direction since the pandemic. But that's where I'm still confused. Is this a separate event or is it linked to the cons? Because I think
I think that's what we're still waiting for. Yeah, that's we are getting like kind of based off of just the initial news, it made it seem like it's around that time, meaning that it's not officially the actual event, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Because like we just said, we just saw WonderCon, they just did this bash, and then even Emerald City Comic-Con was like that. That had
that was the Christmas one, right?
Yeah, Christmas Festival of Fun was the same technically in there. They had a booth and it was that theme. So maybe it is what they're doing. They're making everyone a theme and kind of like, playing off of that. But one thing I did want to say though, so they have officially talked about the blacklight because I always forget their names, but the two girls that are always on Instagram on their original, they actually mentioned it.
Oh, they did. I didn't realize
they mentioned that black light was going to be like a thing, and they like quickly thing. And I think that's where kind of like everyone kind of ran with it.
Okay.
So, but they didn't say like San Diego Comic-Con is going to be. It was just more like that, an event or whatever. So I think, I don't know. It just depends. I mean, now let's see. Let's say they only drop a few Freddies and they're all blacklight variations of something. It might not be as bad. Like it might be pretty cool. You get like limited Freddies and they're in their blacklight, because usually for fun days, I'm trying to think of last year.
It's fun.
Was there other pops too though? It was mostly the Freddies. Oh, and
it's
then
just
there
the
was
Freddies. Fun
no,
days
there was
is
just
normally
Freddies.
Fun days is normally just Freddies.
They
But
just had a few different versions.
now that we're talking out loud about this, last year's was like Olympic themed, and we got a few Olympic themed Freddies, but
they weren't all.
They weren't all. So with that being said, I take that back. There probably will be a few Freddy blacklights and then just other random stuff that they normally do, which then I'm cool with.
Yeah. I would totally be down with that. Like if they do like Freddy as somebody else, Freddy as this, and they do that, and then they happen to have black, like, okay, let's
like what they did with the artist series.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hope it's not that, but let's say it was the artist series where we had 3 of those and those were the blacklight versions. Now, will they look better than the artist series? Yeah, probably. And that would probably make those pretty cool. But I agree. Don't make every single Freddy a blacklight version. Do what you normally do with these variants and these cool characters that you're making Freddy into, and then do like 3 special ones that say that happen to be blacklight. So I guess we'll see.
And the logo looks kind of like 80s-ish, which also opens up a whole, that's the way I looked. Like I immediately saw the logo that was going on around online. I thought of like, Stranger Things, how we talked about how that lent to the blacklight. Like they're kind of going with an 80s vibe, that we may even get some other Freddy's and stuff that maybe 80s classic movies, which would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. It's very early on. We're still waiting to get like more news and more official stuff, but based off of just like the gist of it, I think I'm excited for it. Honestly, I don't think I took it as like we're gonna get a con, like a San Diego Comic-Con of 30 blacklight pops. Like I don't see that happening. I mean, I don't know, but I don't see that happening. So if it's more just strictly the fun days, the Freddies, and they happen to do 3 of them or whatever, very special to be blacklight, and then the rest like they normally do, I'm totally all for that. I think that'd be pretty cool. But it will be exciting to see if some of these things, because we always get leaks and drops of these pops, like somehow gets into somebody's hands before we actually get these things. So I guess we'll have to wait out for those. But the other event that actually I was excited for based off of the theme is, of course, a Funko Fright Night.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Which I know they've done that in the past, I believe. I don't think this is the first time they've done specifically like a Fright Night named theme type of thing. I'm just trying to remember exactly, but I could swear they've done something.
They've done it, but it's just like we're announcing like Halloween themed pops. Like
that's what it was. It was just like more the okay, I get what you're saying.
Because when
it wasn't like an actual event.
It wasn't an event. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Oh, this is just the new like event that they have online where they like announce all these new Halloween
like Funko-ween, like when they do Funko-ween.
Exactly. Like they do it in the summertime and we don't get them until like end of the year.
Till Christmas. like that Vampire Mickey, Vampire Freddy the next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that's the case, I mean, I'm hoping it's something pretty cool. It's like it's more like maybe they make a Freddy, or make certain ones that are more like horror Halloween related. It is generally like based off of the what they said is like it's going to be in the fall. Yes. So if it's in the fall, October time, that makes sense for like the whole Halloween theme. So
and New York Comic-Con. So maybe they are going with, like we just said, this is their new thing, which I like. I mean, normally for all you those who haven't been to like a con in the past, like Funko has like a nice shiny booth, but it's legitimately the Funko logo. They normally have like a huge Funko, like New York Comic-Con normally, like I've taken a picture with like a life-size Gladiator Hulk or a Thanos, but like that's really it. Where it looked like just this, past weekend, they actually have like picture opportunities. There's like legitimately a huge Funko section where you can walk. Like normally the line is in New York Comic-Con is going into the con into other people's booths, where they don't have like a huge, they have one of the biggest sections out of anyone there, but not anywhere where you would theme it. So I think that's cool if that's what they're going with.
Well, yeah, and I'm assuming they're going to be back at the con
Yeah,
because they
not
weren't
totally.
last year, so that's kind of like a way in to be like, okay, we're back now. Because I'm almost positive that's got to be what it is. I think they're theming out the cons
It's
because
definitely
that's
what
what
it
they
is.
did with Emerald City Comic Con was their first one back in an
Yep.
actual con, and they made it an event. They made it a theme, and they were a booth in there. And then they just followed that up again, with WonderCon and Beach Bash and all these, like you said, having
Yep.
different like themed things going on and activities and stuff like that. So I'm sure San Diego will be a huge one for them, and then they'll just kind of do it again with NYCC.
Yep.
But yeah, if that's the case, that's pretty cool. It's an exciting thing for sure, because that just means we're kind of getting back to more normal with cons and like having the opportunity. And of course, if you guys don't know, me and Charlie are in New Jersey, so obviously we're very close to New York Comic Con specifically, and being able to go there. I've never been ever, and I used to go a lot but in the
Yep.
past. So
We're
hopefully we can
definitely
try
gonna
to
go.
do that, and then we'll do something there, maybe an episode or something. But that'll definitely be pretty fun. But that was the just a portion today for the events and stuff that
Yeah.
Funko is going off with. But I think both really cool, very exciting, especially if they happen to be San Diego and New York, which are the two biggest cons. I think this kind of gets us more excited because remember, we've gone through last year and the year before with cons just upsetting us. Let's not even talk about NYCC last year and the mishap that
Yeah.
was.
That was a
So
mess.
hopefully they redeem themselves with this. If this is the theme and this is what they're going to go with, so far it sounds pretty good.
I agree. No, I do agree.